clearly defined that we are not socialists. The Republicans are going to come at us every way they can. If we turn towards socialism, we run the risk of helping to re-elect the worst president in American history.
Well, I think the responses at the polls, last poll I saw, had us 10 points ahead of Donald Trump, because the American people understand that Trump is a phony. That's how we beat Trump. We expose him for the fraud that he is.
Well, okay. 2020 presidential hopeful John Hickenlooper is sounding off on Bernie Sanders' long-standing socialism agenda for America. It's a personal issue to our next guest.
Yeah, both of them. Gold Star mom and vice president of Moms for America, Karen Vaughn, is here. We remember, Karen, great to see you. And actor John Voight. America's known you for quite some time, John, and now everyone knows you as somebody who's very fervently behind President Trump.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
And I know you guys.
Right. And don't yell at me when you say that. But we gave you a big break when we were in that smaller studio in Studio A. Do you remember?
That's right. You actually were directing one of the segments.
I was. I did a very good job, too. I didn't know why there weren't any more calls.
We got a Cable Ace Award for it. Thanks.
So, Karen, I really, before we get started with all this, you lost your son, a member of SEAL Team 6, in 2011. I want to hear about him.
Well, you know, he was just a remarkable human being. And what I want to tell people most about him is that he loved this country so much. And he didn't fight for a government. He didn't fight to seize anybody's land. He fought for a way of life, the American way of life. And that's what I continue fighting for, because it meant enough to him to give his life for it. And so it means enough to me to continue fighting.
And in fact, you're hitting the road. You're going down to our nation's capital. Tell us about the idea behind this rally you've got.
So as we watch socialism creep into American government, and more, even my family members voted for Andrew Gillum in Florida this year. Some of my family members did. And I just thought, what is happening? Why are people so falsely persuaded about what socialism is and what it will actually do to our country?
Why do you think they're so persuaded?
The education system. I mean, we were talking about this in the green room, right, John? It's indoctrination through the education system, right? We've seen it for decades now. They were smarter than us. They took the positions that allowed them to force these thoughts into our children's minds, and so now they grow up and the kids are smarter than us.
Wow.
You know, like I thought I was until I had my own. I'm smarter than my mom.
So, John, tell us what you're combining to do. Tell us what you guys are combining to do. The rally.
Well, I'm in New York shooting Ray Donovan, and every holiday, and this
4th of July.
4th of July is a big one. Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and I always look for something to do, and it really was like someone answered my prayer, and I got this invitation from Karen and this group to come down and stand with them. And there's no greater honor than to stand with these moms who have, lost their loved ones, who were sacrificed for our country, for our freedoms, and who love and honor and respect our nation. Mm-hmm. So this was, for me, I said, oh, yeah, all right, we've got to go and support this group.
You're going to take her up on the invitation. Tell us about the rally itself, because there could be some people who might be interested in it.
So I have to say first, when I had my first phone call with John, I said, are you punking me? Because is this like your cleaning man or something?
Ashton Kutcher.
I know, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So this rally, what we're doing is we're meeting in Section 10 on the Capitol lawn on July 4th, 10 a.m., and we're inviting everybody to attend. Media people from across the nation are rallying to join forces to show support to these Gold Star family members, right, who are using their wounds and their brokenness to say, hey, we have kind of a moral authority here in this particular situation to say no to socialism, and we're going to nip this in the bud. So this is all being funded by Moms for America, which I do work with, and Moms for America is just a group of mothers across this nation determined to reclaim our culture for truth, family, and freedom. And please, I have to say this, just if you let me, we still need funding. So if people want to help us on this mission, they go to momsforamerica.us and they can click on the Gold Star Family thing and help fund this, because it's costing a lot to do this endeavor.
And what is the message that you want to be delivered, and why is it so important to fight against socialism?
Yes, the message is we are a free society. Aaron Vaughn was able to grow up on a farm in West Tennessee and have the dream of becoming a U.S. Navy SEAL because he was free to do so. Nobody was determining the course of his life. Nobody was creating situations that he had to walk through.
Right.
He could do whatever he wanted.
Right.
That's why it's so important.
John, it says pursuit of happiness. That
Right.
we want to pursue happiness and success. So it's before they make.
We hold
Mayor de
these
Blasio
truths.
says the money's in the wrong hands. That's the problem. What do you say about how America how America should be represented to you?
Well, we're 4th of July, the statement by Jefferson, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And all these statements of our founders are so deeply moving to me, because they're not just words. They created the most prosperous and the most extraordinary nation on earth, a beacon of light, And you look at those things, that God, the freedom to pursue your loves, and to pursue happiness. These are not part of socialism, folks. And and the people who are speaking so much about socialism, especially the young people who've been indoctrinated in our schools, they don't know what socialism is. They don't know if they knew anything about the Second World War. They know that socialism is a disaster. It's never produced anything anywhere in the world. It's an economic sinkhole, but it also produces nothing but misery and finally violence too.
So Karen, you're having the rally on the 4th of July. I understand the president has also invited you. You get VIP access.
We have VIP access to the events that night, which, as you know, are going to be the largest. It's going to be the largest celebration of Independence Day in our nation's history.
And it sounds like there could be a flyover of the president's Air Force One. John, why have you become such a supporter of this president?
Well, because of what he can accomplish, because he's a doer, because he has unflagging energy. He has more energy than you guys, and you guys have a lot of energy. His record speaks for itself. He's followed through on all his promises to the American people.
What's the big thing that he's done that you appreciate?
Well, I mean, he's righted the ship in so many ways. I mean, certainly economically, he's all of these giveaways and all of these regulations, which are part of the socialist, the government takeover of our society, produces economic disaster. He's corrected the ship.
John, but Hollywood seems to make you stand out, not only because you're the best actor around.
Thank you very much, Brian.
But they disagree.
Academy Award winner.
But they disagree, but they disagree with you politically. For example, that legend Alyssa Milano, who might be the best actress ever, said this about John Voight. Now I understand why Republicans like to discredit actors in our political views. Quote, "Stay in your lane, John. Has been F-lister trying to stay relevant. Nobody cares what an out-of-touch actor thinks." So, John,
she's attacked me too.
Come at me, Alyssa. Alyssa, come at me. I'm ready.
Oh, my goodness.
Look,
That's really offensive,
darling Alyssa, God bless you. But, I pray God sends his light of truth on all those with no truth about the Republicans and about our president, and may God bless America.
were you surprised to hear that from somebody?
Look, people say a lot of things. I mean, as I said when I did a show with Mark Levin, I said, I was there marching in the 60s. And I came awake because of the disaster that happened, the lives that were lost, 2.5 million lives when we pulled out of Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos. So we have to go through a process in order to learn the truth sometimes. I did. So I have sympathy with the people who are in ignorance. But so it doesn't scare me. Ignorance doesn't scare me. I was like that myself. So I have to, I just root for everybody to come to the truth.
Well, and Karen, importantly, tell us one more time about this rally. Where is it again, time?
How can people contribute?
Right. So people can contribute by visiting momsforamerica.us. The rally is at 10 a.m. on July 4th. in Section 10, right across from the Library of Congress on the Capitol lawn.
He'll be there.
He will be there with us, believe it or not. I mean, we're just still like starstruck here. But I just want to say this to President Trump. If he's listening, I know he watches you guys all the time.
He's in Japan right now.
Well, you know, okay, so he'll watch it later.
On his VCR.
Okay, so watch it on his VCR. You know, he is rebuilding the nation my son gave his life for. I feel like our country was rescued in November 2016 from I don't even know what. And I will fight with my last breath to get him reelected in 2020 because I know he loves America.
And I know, John, you will fight too because I saw the champ.
Oh,
And
that's right. I
when
saw
you
the champ.
gave it your all.
Thank you so much.
And we saw the moves on the couch.